August 27, 2020. The following video was captured by external surveillance on the outside of a home in Las Vegas, Nevada. The camera was infrared and was mounted above the garage area facing the street. The camera was motion activated and was set to record a 5-second clip. To the owner's knowledge, there are no incidents in the area that have occurred that could have resulted in some kind of paranormal activity. However, it is a curiosity that the owner of this surveillance system is Chris Jones, the current Nevada director of MUFON. The Mutual UFO Network, composed of volunteers which study and categorize what are now called UAP sightings. These streaks, here freeze-framed, are fast-moving dust particles propelled by the wind against the camera lens. Because of their velocity, the camera at 30 frames per second is unable to capture them as single particles. They appear as streaks or rods. It also demonstrates that there is nothing placed over the camera lens to create a false effect. The same clip is now slowed to 50% speed and zoomed in 50%. Infrared is in a lower frequency on the electromagnetic spectrum than visible light. Since the infrared is almost passing through the sample unhindered, the conclusion can be reached that by what is now called natural naked eyesight, we would not be able to see this image in darkness or in light. Although it would be an easy rush to judgment to assume that this is an apparition, a ghost by any other name, there are some anomalies which indicate that it may not be so. As with broad spectrum, infrared will reflect off of anything shiny, which will include headlights of automobiles, tail lights, license plates, physical objects mounted to the sidewalk such as poles, fire hydrants, or mailboxes. The difference is that only the infrared collector of that camera is able to detect it. We can't see it with our naked eyesight. What appears to be a pole mounted in the sidewalk is actually a white fire hydrant, surrounded by bushes making it difficult to see in the infrared. It has the typical stem nut type caps on the top and side. As we run through the clip one more time at reduced speed, we can now isolate the anomaly spoken of. Once it comes into view from all outward appearances, it seems to be translucent. As the anomaly enters the viewing area and passes in front of the automobiles on the opposite side of the street, the infrared reflection rebounding off of the vehicle's tail lights and license plates is now obscured. Here is the clip in a closer zoom. Take notice of the license plates and tail lights of the vehicles on the other side of the street as the anomaly passes in front of them. We can't tell if the infrared is being directed away from the sample initially or on the rebound. As it passes in front of the white fire hydrant, an object which can barely be made out, in one frame the trailing edge stem nut comes into focus, something that could not be seen before. The clip is here paused in single frame so that it can be made out. These properties seem to indicate that although it appears translucent, it is composed of some kind of matter. Most likely, plasma, the fourth state of matter beyond gas, liquid, and solids. The mass being held in abeyance by an unknown external field, possibly microwave. The light is either being absorbed or being deflected away from our view. This renders the anomaly, whatever it is, to be truly cloaked from our vision. The properties of light diffraction demonstrated would permit the field to project itself as being in a location that it was not physically present in, comparable to geolocation spoofing, except in a physical sense. If you think this image is difficult to be seen, that's because whether naturally created or artificially contrived, it was not intended to be seen. In fact, we're not supposed to be seeing it at all. Had you been standing on the sidewalk while this walked by you in the street, you would neither have seen it or been aware of its presence.